welcome back to Consciousful Tarot. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel and clicking on this video. It's Francesca. I'm a Clarisentient reader and Reiki healer. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button. If you're not new to the channel, go ahead and like the video at the end and go ahead and share the video with your friends and family. Today's video is going to be on the twin flame journey. Collective energies, updates, and how Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine is doing in their journey and how they're both thinking and feeling about each other. Let's go ahead and get it started. Thank you guys so much for being patient on the reading. I'm on the road to 1,000, so please share my channel. I will be elaborating about a contest I will be doing. The person that can get me the most subscribers will get a free reading from me and much more. So I will be sharing that in my live tomorrow. I will be going live tomorrow on the 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern time as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it started. So currently with the twin flames, there is a major emphasis on both of the twin flames redefining their life goals and redirecting their energy when it comes to the direction of their life in general. What's being emphasized a lot is their career, their reputation, and just their personal achievement, how they feel about their personal achievements and how they feel about the achievement of the connection and the lack of achievement of the connection. Right now, what's also being highlighted a lot for a lot of the twins is their morals and their moral compass and how they are navigating the connection with or without their morals. So there does seem to be a major emphasis on the twin flames where there is a need of needing to improve the dynamic. So there is a lot of karma that is being purged out of both twins' lives, especially when it comes to the runner-chaser dynamic, any codependency, and any patterns and cycles of self-sabotage and soothing, people-pleasing, non-committal patterns, fear of intimacy. I mean, there's a lot going on. But what is being stopped right now and what is being brought to light so it can be changed is the excessive worrying when it comes to the stalling, when it comes to there being lack of progress, when it comes to a digression in the connection. So right now, both twins are actually renegotiating the position in this connection, renegotiating how they could actually gain balance, right? Gain organization to move in the direction that they've been wanting to, because both twins have actually lost complete control of where they're headed with their twin flame. And instead of there being progress, there's actually been interruptions, right? That's why I mentioned the karma. There's been interruptions because there's been a lack of intentful action, and there's been a lack of meeting eye to eye because there's been gaslighting, there's been pretending, not showing true feelings, there's been deluding. And because there's been pretending and pretending that both twins don't care, there's been a lot of fight or flight energy, there's been a lot of avoidance energy, right? Because the highs and the lows have been very high, because I am seeing that what's being affected right now is your guys' general mood, is the twin flames' general mood. And I am seeing that this is really triggering both of the twins' inner child wounds. So for a lot of the twins, it's that fear of intimacy, the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment, the fear of success when it comes to this connection. It's like the closer that you get to the light, the more blind you become. So sometimes you could actually go off course, right? So it's like both twins are actually now needing to gain that personal strength, right? In order for them to see clearly on how they should navigate the connection moving forward. So there's going to be a lot of hard work that is going to need to be done into both twins' individual lives in order for them to actually avoid being controlling, or avoid being dismissive, or avoid being deceptive towards their twin. Because I am seeing that there's been a lot of, like I said, pretending energy, and this pretending energy has created a lot of pain in both of the twins because it has triggered their inner child wounds. And because the twins are not used to fulfilling their inner child wounds, they're used to thinking worst case scenario. They're used to being avoidant when it comes to the pain, numbing it in some sort of way. Now divine is pushing both twins to love themselves, to lead with their morals, and to love themselves first in order for there to be this balance that can occur, this foresight of direction. So both twins are in a position where they're actually beginning to adapt to the changes that need to be made in their personal lives in order for there to be a strong reconciliation in the near future. So there's a major emphasis on needing to suspend intimidation, stalling, mind games, desire to win one up over on the other, so have the upper hand. Any underhanded behavior, deception, or just lack of communication that is creating lack of progress is being halted, so there could actually be a choice to move forward. And even though there is an aspect of both twins feeling as though they need to take a rest from this connection, there's been an overload of stress, an overload of indecision, an overload of realization that they need to address their inner child wounds, which means that they may need to address other things in their lives, other people in their lives, in order to respect themselves and love themselves first. This is making both of the twins feeling as though they need to begin to avoid others. So some of the twins may feel as though they need to avoid their own twin, but other twins are feeling like they need to avoid other people in their lives that may be trying to prevent them from actually healing their inner child wounds, because they're reinforcing their inner child wounds. And both the twins seeing that there is an opportunity for growth here, but the opportunity for growth is first going to start when both of the twins take off the mask, stop pretending, stop operating out of the pain and the trauma, and begin to actually to adapt to the healing that needs to be made in order for there to be growth. And that's what I see happening. So if there's been retaliation with your twin, or there's been some betrayal, or your twin is faking it, or you're faking it towards your twin, understand that this inhibition isn't creating progress, but it is shining the light on where you as an individual need to begin to change your reactions, change the way in which you relate to the pain that your twin brings up out of you. And overall, this will be seen in the form of, like I said, your inner child wounds coming to the surface, but it will change your mood, your habits. It will come in the form of your habits, your attitudes, and your emotions going up and down, and also the relationship you have with your mother or a female figure. So take it as it resonates. Let's go ahead and see how Divine Masculine is thinking and feeling. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and transition to how Divine Masculine is thinking and feeling, and what's going on with Divine Masculine. How is he feeling about Divine Feminine? So Divine Masculine is going through a lot right now. So he is really challenging his current beliefs, his current conditioning, especially when it comes to his feelings. Like, he's really digging deep on how he defines love, how he actually values his feelings. So for a lot of Divine Masculines, they would value their feelings through things making sense in the mind. Now they're valuing their feelings by listening to their heart and going with what feels good. And what's making sense to the Divine Masculine is this connection, even though it scares them, or they feel as though there needs to be a reason why I feel this way, why when this person is not in my life I feel crushed, when they are in my life I feel happy. But then there's a lot of insecurities and triggering that happens. It's like they're really questioning their beliefs regarding what it is about Divine Feminine. What is it that keeps them coming back? Why is Divine Feminine on their path? And they're trying to find proof of this. I am seeing Divine Masculine at a space where they know they're not living in their purpose. They know they're not being the best version that they could be. They know that the people that are in their lives are literally just a byproduct of their typical patterns and behavior. And it's just like a reflection of who they have been, but not of who they truly are or who they want to be. So they're really being urged to do something different with their life and to begin to take action towards almost like incarnating into a completely new individual. But this individual that they're trying to incarnate into is who they truly are, and how they feel when they're with you is that person. And it's like they're asking themselves, like, why did they take so long to come to this realization? But it's like they had to go through these series of like rebirth and transformation, and like let go of the old selves in order to mold themselves into who they know they are, right? To remember their roots. And that's what's happening to Divine Masculine, is that they're headed towards their destiny, and they're facing their fear and getting over this false identity, right? This identity of, you know, being so accustomed to the social matrix, being so accustomed to what looks good but what doesn't feel good, right? Being so accustomed to scarcity or stagnation, being used to feeling pain. It's like Divine Masculine is at this space where they're tired of standing their ground. They're tired of actually like needing to rebuild themselves and needing to get into a space where they're needing to defend themselves when they're not really in their fulfillment, or they're not really like owning up to what they truly want. So they're at a space where they're actually realizing they need to stand on their 2 feet to take advantage of the opportunity that they have with Divine Feminine before it's actually really lost. And they're at a space where they're very courageous. Okay, they feel as though they got this. But they're at a space where they're wanting to find true satisfaction. They're wanting to try to find true fulfillment and happiness. For a while, they've been circling in the idea that the connection with Divine Feminine is a tragedy. There's unrequited love. It's not what they thought. It's toxic, right? It's too much to bear with. And it's all been due to the frustration that they developed in this connection, due to the inability to actually go through the spiritual transformation that they needed to go through. They were identifying this connection with Divine Feminine as unrequited because they were not releasing, right, the obstacles that they needed to release. They weren't learning from their lessons. They were projecting. They were people pleasing. They were responding out of their trauma, and it left them in this cycle of repeating negative patterns and resisting to change because they stayed in their codependency, and because they knew that they couldn't adhere to a codependent connection with Divine Feminine, they began to become codependent on other things, on other people, right? So they were living their traumas with other people, yet projecting that trauma onto the connection with Divine Feminine. So now Divine Masculine is now realizing that they're at a space where they're facing, right, the ramifications of their choices, and they're now realizing that they need to leave the past behind. So not only like the past when it comes to their false identity and their behavior patterns, but also the usual reactions that they're used to, right? And the people, the people in their lives, the habits in their lives, the substances in their lives, the way of thinking. They're needing to release that behind, the fear. Especially when it comes to creating progress in this connection, there's an aspect of Divine Masculine having proof that they've been self-sabotaging this connection. And it has come in the form of many things. I'm seeing jealousy. I'm seeing realizing that they have allowed interferences into this connection, and it's like they couldn't really solve the problem until they kind of like isolated themselves, or until there was like, I'm seeing Divine could have orchestrated a divine intervention in order for Divine Masculine to realize he's actually really breaking his own heart by like sabotaging the connection with interferences. I'm seeing some Divine Masculines now redefining the value of this connection, and instead of valuing another connection or other romances, right, they're now realizing that those connections that they valued as romance or true love is actually the interference and the temptation, which temptation is just the devil in disguise, right? It's a facade, it's not true. So, and now they're valuing the divine feminine as their true love. And it's like they couldn't really confess this to themselves, or they couldn't even identify this because their level of awareness, right, their level of consciousness wasn't progressive enough, right? And they were so disconnected from their heart space because they were operating in the mind. Most of the divine masculines have been operating in the illusion of the mind for so long. And now, due to this divine intervention that I see, they're now identifying the other people as unrequited and divine feminine as the romance that is of a lifetime. So they feel very called to divine feminine. They're identifying divine feminine as someone that is literally an equal counterpart. You know, as divine feminine and divine masculine, like, you guys literally have like a chakra system that's connected to each other. So you feel each other on a deep level. And divine masculine is beginning to understand this because he's suspending his negative patterns. He's actually allowing this spiritual transformation to occur, which is transitioning him out of the karma. Okay, he's out of the karma and he's taking ownership. And as he takes ownership, he realizes he's gonna need to stand his ground. He's gonna need to stand his ground with himself, with other people. That means no people pleasing. That means not repeating old patterns. That means standing up for himself and his goals, standing up for what he feels is right. That means breaking other people's hearts, right? And divine masculine is finally at this point because he's doing the shadow work, but because there's also been a lot of rude awakenings. There's been a lot of karmic justice, but he's now wanting to operate in integrity. And he was so blind to this due to multiple reasons, but it's because he was operating in reverse. He was operating out of fear. But now there's an aspect of divine masculine evaluating himself and realizing that he's been going backwards. He's been stalling this. He's been the one creating lack of progress. And now he's actually ready to suspend how he has thoughts and how he has behaved with divine feminine. And now he's willing to actually approach the connection without falling into a disagreement, an argument, or being very wary or guarded, right? And now he's realizing like his dreams of happiness, true love, and satisfaction are going to be achieved with divine feminine. So he's at a space where he's feeling multiple things. Okay, some divine masculine are also at a space where I'm seeing them having like very vivid dreams, extremely vivid dreams. Some divine masculines are also getting like either burned, like this could be them like drinking something, or like cooking and then they get burned, or they like burn their mouth drinking like something hot, or they bite their tongue, like whatever it is, they're gonna get some sort of small wound. And as they're thinking, right, as they get this wound, they're gonna be thinking of what they need to do to change. So it's like, it's gonna be like the synchronization that's just gonna make like a snap judgment that they can't fool themselves anymore, and they're ready to let go and come forward in a way that's going to fulfill the partnership. So yeah. So let's go ahead and see how divine feminine is thinking and feeling. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and transition to how divine feminine is thinking and feeling, and what's going on with divine feminine, how she's thinking about divine masculine. So divine feminine is at a space where she's actually experiencing releasing the limited beliefs about herself regarding this connection. So there's major things happening. There's a lot of karma that's being brought out of her, especially for any sort of limitations that she has placed on her mind regarding this connection and regarding how she sees herself in the connection. So divine feminine is beginning to interpret the connection differently because she's cleansing the codependency. She's cleansing this neediness, right? This need to know, this need to feel that divine masculine wants her, needs her. And she's doing this because she's not reflecting how her adhering, right? Or her reacting emotionally or physically to divine masculine's strategic ways or inhibition of the connection is only going to deepen the wounds within herself. So she's actually at a space where she's going through heavy introspection, which is making her realize that she can no longer hold on to the cycle, right, of wounds that emerge within her when divine masculine runs, avoids, ghosts, bottles in his energy, bottles in his love, is strategic, or not showing his hands. Instead of her feeling unworthy, right, or feeling insecure, right, or feeling needy, like feeling that fight or flight and anxious energy and panic energy, she's at a space where she's actually trying to cleanse that. And this may look in the form of divine feminine literally going for a car ride, buying a new car, changing locations, relocating. Like I'm seeing a lot of divine feminines, like they're wanting to move somewhere, you know, like maybe to forget about divine masculine, maybe to just come out of this confinement, because they're beginning to release the control of the power that this connection has over them, the power that it has over their emotions, the power that it has over how they see themselves, the power that it has over their control, right? So they're at a space where they're not allowing themselves to be confined. They're not wanting to be confined because they realize that divine masculine has put divine feminine in a space where they feel as though the connection is one-sided, that the connection is unrequited. And divine feminine is at a space where she's like letting go. You know, she's not wanting to be needy, but then she's also going through a space where she's experienced a lot of adrenaline, because this process that she's going through, where she's eliminating that neediness, is also triggering sadness in her. It's making her want to like actually yearn divine masculine. Like it's weird because she's wanting to let go, but then it's like it's hard to process fully letting go of this neediness, right? Because this neediness is an illusion of safety, right? Neediness and codependency does the opposite when it comes to growing a connection. It actually inhibits its growth because you're creating resistance by needing something. But because divine feminine has still been under this illusion, right, of holding on, is going to create an illusion of safety. Divine feminine is now going through this sudden hot and cold energy, like feeling very, in a way, a little bit manic. So divine feminine is a little bit, you know, sad, grieving, definitely operating out of fear of abandonment. But she's also at a space where she's not wanting to feel disinterested. She's not wanting to feel apathetic. She's not wanting to be in this space of impulsiveness, because all it does is that it takes her down self-sabotage path. It takes her down this path of not feeling good enough. It takes her down a path of confining her growth, limiting her potential, and it creates limitations. So she's at a space where she's wanting to, yes, escape the dynamic of codependency and feeling as though the connection is one-sided and feeling, you know, used and abused. But then she's also at a space where she's wanting freedom and release. You know, the escapism isn't bad because she's just wanting freedom and release. She's wanting to gain control of her life again, gain control of her mind as well. It's like there's a lot of triggers happening with divine feminine. So she's at a space where she's not wanting to shut down on her life purpose. She's wanting to take accelerated action towards her life mission, towards her life purpose. And it's like divine is like screaming in her ear, literally, don't stop. You know that song, don't stop, believe it. Well, it's more like don't stop towards your purpose. Don't stop towards what you're meant to do. Don't stop evolving, you know. it's like divine is trying to let her know that holding on to this illusion of comfort and neediness, it is really just an illusion. It's really just what's going to benefit your mind, but it's not going to benefit your heart. What's going to benefit your heart is remaining positive and being optimistic that there will be powerful change. And just because you may have evidence that divine masculine is running from you or not wanting you, that doesn't mean that it's not destined to change, you know? So divine feminine is actually going through a lot of internal conflict where she's actually breaking through the limitations. It's like, imagine someone being chained up and they're like, with all the force within them, they're breaking through those chains, and they're seeing that the chains were actually tied by them. You know, they connected the chains and now they're freeing themselves. So it's like they're not allowing their stubbornness get in the way when it comes to controlling their discipline. And they're also at a space where they're not allowing divine masculine's abusive power or delays get them at a space where they forget their worth, or where they forget just how important it is to move forward in their process of evolving. So they're very, divine feminine is oh my god, I'm seeing some divine feminines like going through it very hard. So if you are a divine feminine that's going through it very hard, definitely contact me. I'll give you a life-changing reading, and also you can book or purchase one of my sound healings to enhance and manifest love. It's going to increase your frequency and your energy to a energetic match to love, so you will feel love despite what you're feeling right now. So overall, I am seeing a lot of divine feminine now seen as though their vision has been broken regarding this connection, but their intuition tells them otherwise. But it's like on the 3D, their idealism has been distorted. Something about divine feminine's vision with divine masculine has been distorted, and I'm seeing that it's due to a lot of things. It's due to the mask that potentially divine masculine is still wearing, and it's just like making them feel like there's been loss, but then they're also at a space where they're like recovering from this, and they're improving themselves by letting go of the mental restrictions, and by realizing that, hey, if divine masculine and I are actually going to evolve into this power couple, or into this duo, if there will be union, divine feminine is thinking to herself, well, divine masculine has a long way to go, because she's not going to want to be in alignment or union with a divine masculine that is corrupted or ungrounded, right? She wants a divine masculine that is in alignment with her life purpose, right? With her ambition and her determination. She's at a space where she's like realizing, you know what? We may be mirroring each other. And divine feminine is thinking to herself, my inability to actually go through this heavy uncertainty in a healthy way is actually making me realize that I have a lot of work to do. So divine feminine is taking the courage to actually open up a new portal for herself and move through it, right? Move through it and disregarding needing to know what's going to happen with her and divine masculine. And as she does this, she releases the illusion of fear. She releases the illusion of needing to hold on out of comfort and safety. And this is when I see a powerful change occur between divine feminine and divine masculine. So right now they're both going through heavy changes, okay? But it's also assisting in the journey. It's assisting both of them re-identify their morals, okay, and their position in each other's lives. And divine feminine is at a space where she's no longer wanting to chase. She's very overwhelmed with emotions. She may be giving the silent treatment to divine masculine, or divine masculine has been giving her the silent treatment, and she's at a space where she's like tapping out of the mind games, retreating back to herself, but her thinking is being redefined with optimism, because she's just letting go of the need to know and letting go of the stress. So this is, in a way, Divine Feminine literally escaping the jail that she puts herself in when it comes to the triggers of this connection. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Divine Feminine going to like theme parks, saging, getting Reiki healings, getting a new car. Like I said, some Divine Feminine is literally moving, relocating to a new state, a new country, or just buying a new home, or like going to a new place somehow. So yeah, this is pretty awesome. And yeah, there's definitely a lot more to share, but that's all I have for you guys. So if you do want a personal reading, you can go ahead, click on the link in the description below. If you want a Reiki healing for you and your lover to assist in your guys' ascension process, go ahead and click on the Love Reiki Healing. And you could also find some sound healing, guided meditations, or guided breath work. Okay, bye, star friends. Don't forget to subscribe.